Laura Jean Covey excitedly prepares for her first real date with her boyfriend, Peter Kavinsky. They enjoy dinner at a fancy restaurant before heading to a park, where they join a group releasing lanterns into the sky. Later, Laura Jean, her sister Kitty, and their dad, Dan, celebrate a Korean family holiday in honor of their late mother. While chatting with their cousin Haven, Laura Jean is surprised when Haven mentions seeing the viral video of her and Peter in the hot tub. When they return home, Laura Jean discovers a letter from her former crush, John Ambrose McLaren. She is mortified that he received her old love letter and even more so that he wrote back. His heartfelt response leaves her conflicted, prompting her to consider writing back to explain herself. At school, Laura Jean tells Peter about John Ambrose's letter. Peter takes it in stride, confident in their relationship. Meanwhile, the school organizes volunteer programs for students. Peter joins his friends, while Laura Jean signs up at Bellevue Retirement Home, following in her sister Margot's footsteps. However, General mocks her for the choice and takes the opportunity to bring up her past relationship with Peter, trying to make Laura Jean feel insecure. Fortunately, Chris and Lucas stand by her. At home, Laura Jean and Kitty notice their dad, Dan, talking to their neighbor, Trina Rothschild. They suspect there might be something romantic between them. Kitty, always eager to play matchmaker, wants to make a Valentine's Day card for Trina and pretend it's from Dan. But Laura Jean warns her against meddling again, reminding her that not every situation needs her interference. Kitty, however, insists that meddling worked out for Laura Jean and Peter, so why not try again? Laura Jean begins her volunteer work at Bellevue and meets Edith, Stormy, McLaren Sheehan, a lively and eccentric woman who adored Margot. To her shock, she also runs into John Ambrose, who is volunteering there as well, and even more surprising, Stormy is his grandmother. The unexpected reunion flusters Laura Jean so much that she accidentally knocks over a bowl of gumballs and slips on them. John Ambrose, ever the gentleman, helps her up. He brings up the letter she sent him and offers to let her read it, on the condition that she returns it afterward. This interaction stirs something in Laura Jean, making her question her feelings for Peter. At school, Valentine's Day is in full swing, with couples receiving serenades from an a cappella group. Chris sends one to Trevor, Peter's friend, adding to the festive atmosphere. Laura Jean, however, is left waiting for her own special moment. When Peter opens his locker to find it overflowing with Valentine's cards from other admirers, Laura Jean can't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. But later, Peter makes it up to her in a way that erases all doubt. He gifts her a beautiful silver necklace and recites a heartfelt poem. Laura Jean is touched and reassured, feeling special once again. At Bellevue, Laura Jean and John Ambrose continue working together, growing more comfortable with each other. As they spend time together, Laura Jean reads her letter to him, reminiscing about their childhood. She recalls how they first met at a Halloween party where they were the only ones in costume. She was dressed as French toast, while he was deviled eggs. That moment sparked their friendship, making their reunion now even more meaningful. Later, Stormy notices Laura Jean looking troubled and sits down to chat with her. When Laura Jean mentions the poem Peter gave her for Valentine's Day, Stormy surprises her by revealing that it's actually Edgar Allan Poe's Annabel Lee. Peter had simply swapped in Laura Jean's name. This revelation plants a seed of doubt in Laura Jean's mind. That doubt lingers as she attends a party with Peter. On their way home, she brings up the poem. Peter admits that he didn't write it himself but didn't correct her in the moment because she seemed so happy. Laura Jean forgives him, appreciating his honesty, and they begin making out. However, as things start to get more intimate, she suddenly feels insecure again, particularly about Jen's past with Peter. Overwhelmed by the lingering comparison, she stops Peter from going any further, leaving both of them unsettled. As Laura Jean and John Ambrose continue working together at Bellevue, they reminisce about childhood memories, including the treehouse where they and their old friends used to hang out. When John Ambrose brings up Peter and Jen, Laura Jean casually mentions that she and Jen aren't friends anymore but avoids telling him that she's dating Peter. When she reveals that the treehouse is set to be torn down soon by a new family moving in, they decide to gather their old friends for one last night there. Wanting to make the evening special, Laura Jean bakes peanut butter chocolate cupcakes, John Ambrose's favorite. When the group meets at the treehouse, Peter, Chris, and Trevor arrive, but to Lara Jean's surprise, so does General. Peter immediately notices that John Ambrose brought pizza, not him, and questions Lara Jean about it, sensing something is off. As they dig up a time capsule they buried as kids, they all go through the items they had added. Jen claims she never put anything in, but she continuously makes pointed remarks meant to make Lara Jean feel uncomfortable. Despite the tension, the night feels nostalgic, until it's time to clean up. John Ambrose offers to help Lara Jean, but before she can respond, Peter steps in, passive-aggressively referring to her as his girlfriend and insisting on helping instead. As they gather their things, Peter confronts Lara Jean about not telling John Ambrose that they're together. The conversation quickly turns into an argument, with Peter feeling insecure and Lara Jean struggling to understand her own feelings. At Bellevue, Lara Jean finds John Ambrose playing the piano and joins him for a chat. He tells her that growing up, everyone simply called him John, until she started calling him John Ambrose *. The way she said his full name always made him feel special. Touched by his words, Lara Jean finally apologizes for not telling him about Peter sooner. John Ambrose forgives her, understanding that things got complicated, but there's an undeniable moment between them, one filled with unspoken emotions. Meanwhile, Dan and Trina continue growing closer. Noticing how happy her dad seems around Trina, Lara Jean takes it upon herself to help him invite her to a beloved family tradition, Fakesgivers. The tradition was created by Lara Jean's mom, who thought March needed its own holiday just like Thanksgiving and Christmas. When Trina accepts the invitation, Lara Jean and Kitty excitedly prepare for the gathering. On the night of Fakesgiving, Trina joins the Covey family for dinner, fitting in effortlessly. Peter also comes over, making the occasion feel even more like a real family event. But as the evening unfolds, Lara Jean finds herself struggling to shake the thoughts of her recent conversation with John Ambrose, leaving her more conflicted than ever. After reconciling with Jen, Lara Jean starts to reflect on her breakup with Peter and the role her own insecurities played in it. She realizes that despite everything, Peter had always chosen her, but she was too caught up in her fears to see it. Encouraged by her renewed friendship with Jen, Lara Jean decides to take a leap of faith. She returns to Bellevue and finds John Ambrose outside in the snow. He senses something has changed and asks if she's okay. She thanks him for being there for her and for reminding her what it feels like to be seen. As he leans in to kiss her, Lara Jean hesitates, realizing that while she cares about John Ambrose, her heart still belongs to Peter. She gently pulls away, apologizing, and John Ambrose, though disappointed, smiles and tells her to go to him. Lara Jean rushes outside into the snow, her heart pounding. When she reaches the parking lot, she finds Peter standing there, waiting. He tells her he had a feeling she'd figure things out and come back to him. Lara Jean admits that she let her fears get the best of her, but she loves him and doesn't want to run away from what they have. Peter, relieved and happy, wraps his arms around her and says, "You never have to run. I'll always be right here." They share a kiss in the falling snow, sealing their second chance. Lara Jean and Peter continue walking hand in hand, the snow falling gently around them. She rests her head on his shoulder, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't felt in weeks. Peter squeezes her hand and teases, "So, should I be worried about John Ambrose sweeping you off your feet again?" Lara Jean laughs softly. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.